You're watching Football Daily, and here are this week's biggest transfer headlines. With the January window less than a month away, the paper talk is hotting up, so we've got some juicy stories lined up for you today. Let us know which transfer you want to see happen and why in the comments, and the best one will get read out on this week's Sunday Vibes. Let's go. We begin at Leicester City, where after a disappointing first 3 months of the season, there is a sense that reinforcements are needed in January. Having narrowly missed out on Champions League qualification for the last 2 seasons, the Foxes sit 11th after 15 games, 8 points off 4th placed West Ham, and face Tottenham, Man City and Liverpool in their next 5 games. So it's no surprise to see them linked with some big names. However, considering their injury-hit defence has been their biggest problem, with only Watford, Norwich and Newcastle conceding more than them this term, the fact that said links are not with defenders is a bit puzzling. Nevertheless, if reports in Italy are to be believed, then they would still be adding quality to their ranks, with Juventus pair Adrien Rabiot and Federico Bernadeschi apparently in the club's thinking. According to the calciomercato.it, Leicester sent scouts to watch them in the Bianconeri's win over Genoa on Sunday, with Rabiot replacing Bernadeschi in the 83rd minute, shortly after the Italians set up Dybala for the side's second. Bernadeschi's contract is up next summer, meaning he'd be available to sign a pre-contract come January. And while he's getting more game time with Max Allegri than he was under Andrea Pirlo, already matching his total Serie A starts for the entirety of last season, still ranks 15th in the squad for minutes played, and having failed to hit the heights expected of him since his move from Fiorentina in 2017, it may be a good time for the 27-year-old to pursue a new challenge. Rabiot, meanwhile, has featured pretty prominently under Allegri, but has spent a lot of time out on the left, and has rarely looked near the player he was at PSG since arriving for free in 2019. With his contract up in 2023, the Foxes may be confident of securing his services for a cut price fee, although whether they really need him is another matter. Though they'll miss the AFCON-bound Wilfred Ndidi in January, Leicester already reinforced their midfield with the signing of Boubakary Soumaré in the summer, so any move for Rabiot would surely be preempting the potential departure of Youri Tielemans, whose contract also expires in 18 months' time. But would this be a good use of the club's resources, or should they be focusing their attention elsewhere? Let us know down below. Over to Chelsea now, as the Antonio Rüdiger situation seems to be gathering pace. The centre-back, who has featured more than anyone at Stamford Bridge bar goalkeeper Edouard Mendy this season, looks increasingly likely to leave the club next summer when his contract expires. Last month, manager Thomas Tuchel suggested there'd been delays in both the negotiations and Rüdiger's decision over his future, while wage demands of around £200,000 a week, approximately double what he's currently on, have been reported in the press. It's understood that what Chelsea have offered the German international falls short of this. And according to The Independent, Rüdiger's agent and brother Sar Senesi met with Real Madrid a few weeks ago, and there is an informal agreement in place between the two parties, while he also met with Bayern Munich last week. Bayern have already been reported to be willing to pay Rüdiger's preferred salary, but Real are understood to be ahead of them in the race for his signature. And while both Man United and Tottenham are also said to be interested in the 28-year-old, it seems unlikely he would leave Stamford Bridge for a Premier League rival, with reports so far indicating he would prefer a move overseas. With Bayern offering the familiarity of a return to his home country, where he hasn't played since leaving Stuttgart for Roma in 2015, and Real presenting the opportunity for a totally new challenge in Spain, the ball is very much in Rüdiger's court. But one thing seems certain: if Chelsea don't act decisively soon, they'll be looking for a replacement come the summer window. Over to Paris now, where following a run of just 2 wins in 5 games, pressure is still firmly on PSG manager Mauricio Pochettino. His side recorded a comfortable victory over Club Brugge last night, having already cemented their place in the Champions League last 16, and sits 11 points clear at the top of Liga. But doubts over his ability to get this star-studded squad to play the way he wants have been growing among the fan base since the start of the campaign, with his eye-watering front three of Neymar, Messi and Mbappe yet to put together the kind of consistent electric performances many expected. To state the obvious, with an attack like that and with the high expectations of the club's ownership, PSG should really be looking like favourites for the Champions League right now, but they still look inferior to Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea and Bayern Munich. And according to reports in France, Messi himself has now begun to question the coach, with the former Barcelona captain apparently deeming Pochettino's tactics as too restrictive and not playing to the strengths of the front line he has at his disposal. L'Équipe have also claimed that sources close to Messi think the manager does not have control over the dressing room at the Parc des Princes and has lost respect among some of the senior players. So is the writing already on the wall for the former Spurs boss? He has of course been strongly linked with the Man United job since before Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's sacking last month, and even since the announcement of Ralf Rangnick as interim, the Argentinian coach is still seemingly the English club's top choice to take over on a permanent basis come the end of the season. With the pressure mounting on him in the French capital, where commanding authority also proved difficult for predecessors Unai Emery and Thomas Tuchel, we wouldn't be overly surprised if more cracks begin to emerge in the coming weeks and months. Watch this space. On the subject of Man United, rumours have been swirling around as to the club's potential activity in the January window since Ralf Rangnick arrived at the club last week, and unsurprisingly, the central midfield position has been the focus. RB Leipzig's Amadou Haidara has emerged as an early target for the new coach, while the club has also been linked with Declan Rice, Wilfred Ndidi and Franck Kessié in recent months. But this week, a new potential target has emerged in the form of Barcelona maestro Frenkie de Jong. According to Catalan publication El Nacional, when representatives from Barça recently travelled to Manchester to discuss the transfer of Man City forward Ferran Torres, they also used the trip to meet with rivals United, apparently offering the Red Devils Philippe Coutinho, who has made just 13 starts since the beginning of last season. But while the Red Devils have no interest in taking on the Brazilian playmaker, they did express a desire to pursue de Jong, with an offer of €55 million, around £47 million, potentially on the table. This falls some way short of Barca's €70 million minimum valuation, and even that would probably not be enough to prize him away, given how important he is to Xavi's side. However, with a number of midfield talents emerging at the camp now over the last year, and with the Catalan giants in dire need of income in order to spend, it's understandable that United may feel they have a chance. But which midfielder do you think would be the perfect signing for the Red Devils? Let us know in the comments. Sticking at Old Trafford for our final story, as it's emerged this week that Ajax are keen to take on goalkeeper Dean Henderson. The 24-year-old has made just one start for the English club this term in the EFL Cup back in September, having been left severely fatigued after contracting COVID in the summer, allowing David De Gea to reclaim his position as United's number one. And according to The Telegraph, Henderson could be on his way to the Netherlands in January. Former United stopper and Ajax CEO Edwin van der Sar is a fan of the Englishman, while the club have been interested in him ever since he returned to Old Trafford from Sheffield United in 2020. Henderson may be keen to impress new manager Ralf Rangnick, but has always been clear in his desire to play regular football, and with one eye on the 2022 World Cup, a loan move to the Johan Cruyff Arena, where third choice Remco Pasveer is currently manning the sticks, would no doubt be of interest to him should De Gea continue to keep him on the bench. And with the Spaniard rediscovering some of his best form this term, it will be difficult to usurp him, even if his youth and ball-playing ability give him points in Rangnick's book. It may ultimately depend on whether the club wants to make do with Tom Heaton as De Gea's number 2, but if Henderson pushes hard enough, we could see this move happening. So that's all we have time for on this week's Transfer Talk. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave us a like, and if you're unsubscribed, please subscribe to Football Daily.